Hi, and to the weekly summary of week 50 of 2025. So, this was a light week in terms of news releases and the community in general, but let's get into it. So, the most obvious news that happened this week was the release of ChatGPT 5.2. As such, it's not bringing any new features when it comes to agent framework or AI in general, but it's just more intelligence, of course. And the most important thing in my book is for code assisted development, meaning using Codex. Because in the new cutoff date of this model is August 31st, 2025, meaning it's jumped an entire year now in cutoff date, which makes it essentially know C# 9 fully, and actually also know a little about C# 10. The older models didn't know that because they were released before .NET 9, and then they couldn't. Then they needed to do web searches in order to get their data. So cool in terms of coding assistance, but not anything special in terms of API for AI. There was no new releases, neither from Agent Framework or from me. Right now, the Agent Framework team is working towards version 1.0, which they think will happen around February. And right now, they are working mostly on feature parity between the C# version and the Python version. And right now, it seems like the Python version needs more work because they had 2 releases of the Python version, but no releases of the C# version. So that is probably why we didn't have any releases. I didn't release anything either because there was nothing to bump up to, and I have a few unreleased things, but they will come in slowly as they were not too important. It was, for example, giving access to 5.2 in the common chat models. In terms of videos, we had 5 videos as normal. And the first 3 was about Microsoft Foundry. It was kind of a mini-series that I actually had intended to be a little longer than 3 parts. But as I went through it within an introduction to the new portal, to the models, and then hit the agents, I saw that the level of maturity this new portal have is quite low. There's a lot of bugs, there's a lot of limitations, there's a lot of features missing. For example, the workflows you can't really define in code, and they're very, very limited. So I ended up adding some comments to the videos, and people agree with me that it was probably a little too early for this preview portal to have too many videos. So we end up here with those 3 main videos that really gives the overview, but not dives into something that perhaps is too buggy anyway. So fourth video, which was intended to be a Foundry video, actually ended up being something from a suggestion from the live streams, where someone asked if we could make a video about migrating from semantic kernel to agent framework. I had done it in a live video, but that was very focused on some live code. This one is a more curated version of it, where it shows exactly how to take raw semantic kernel, agents in semantic kernel, tool calling semantic kernel, structured output in semantic kernel, and RAG in semantic kernel, and migrating each one of them over to agent framework. So if you have that task in front of you, that is a really good video to check out. And finally, I ended up with one of the features you can set when you define agents. You can, of course, define instructions, model, temperature, and such things. And last week I added the context provider, and now I'm also adding the chat message store. So the chat message store is so you can persist conversations between sessions with the agent threads. So really nice way of doing that compared to just trying to do it manually. There was the 3 live streams. I think we could really see that people are very, very busy here in December compared to other months. There was not that too many people on there. There was also the experiment of seeing if it was best on Wednesdays, which the 2 first were, and then if a weekend stream was better. And it seems like the weekend stream was the one who had the most people. Again, not many in either one of them, but it had the most interactions. So going forward, we are going with the weekend live streams instead. More about that in a second. In terms of comments, questions, and so on, again, a light week. Lots of praises, which I always like and I'm thankful for, but not any big questions. There was a few conversations around the Microsoft Foundry, of course. Should we go on with video? Should we not? But not too many fundamental questions that I want to highlight here. So this is the second to last week of the year in terms of regular videos. Next week it will be regular video week, but it will be the last one, and then there will be 2 weeks off, and then I will be back on January 5th, 2026, where we'll be trying a new schedule, because many of you have mentioned in one of the polls I made that there was simply too many videos. 5 is too much to consume. So we are trying to reverse a bit and go down to 3 regular videos a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we will release them a bit later at 1800 UTC because they fit better with US. And then there will be the weekly summary still, but that will be a little longer probably if there's more news. So we try to cover some of the more stuff in terms of news instead of in videos, but actually in that video, and that will go out early, so it can be seen across the entire weekend, Sunday. And then the live streams, as I mentioned, will go on to be on Saturdays. I will do it every 3rd Saturday of the month, again at 1800 UTC, as it seems like the best one. I made an iCal for the live streams. If you want to have them in your calendar, you can scan this QR code and get it into your calendar as such. But that's everything for this one today. See you in the next one.